Hi, welcome to Not Dead Yet's weekly music roundup.
Yeah.
I'm Dan.
I'm Lee.
We're going to talk to you about what we've been listening to this week, and we're going to talk about. Last week we set up a music swap thing, which is where I recommend an album to Lee, and Lee recommends an album to me, and then we have to go away and listen to it, and then come back and talk about what we found out. So, what have you been listening to this week, Lee?
I have been listening to. I'll go into this in other times, but I really like rock and roll. I'm a really big fan of people like Little Richard and Jackie Wilson in particular. So I've been listening to a lot of Little Richard this week. Best of, I think the great songs, great voice, and he's really interesting. Very interesting as a person and character.
Right.
But I think little bits over the time. I think we'll go into that, and also a guy called Hes Atkins, who he was a rockabilly singer. Rockabilly, obviously, you're probably aware, but it's kind of country music and rock and roll.
Right. Okay.
So it's a combination.
I didn't actually realise that's what the term was.
Yeah, rockabilly. So it's like like Wanda Jackson was a big rockabilly artist.
White Billy, like hillbilly.
I think so.
Oh, wow.
I don't know, but I'll look into this.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of rock and roll and country.
Okay.
Now, Hes Atkins did this. He was very much a one-man band, batted up acoustic guitar, he'd have a drum kit.
Right,
with
okay,
his foot.
yeah.
He was quite a character. He is also kind of considered like the forefather of psychobilly.
Psychobilly being a combination of rock, country, and
kind
psychos.
And it kind of like, not goth necessarily, but that kind of like kitsch B-movie type thing. The Cramps would be the biggest psychobilly band.
Yeah.
And I first became aware of Hes Atkins because they covered his song She Said. But he's interesting. He sings songs about chickens. A lot of his songs are about chickens, cars, and decapitation, I believe.
Oh, okay, nice.
Quite an interesting character. But there's been a documentary.
Are there any albums that people should check out?
They got reissued albums. A few albums got reissued in the noughties. I hate that term. There's one called Out to Hunch. And Poultry in Motion.
Wow, okay.
That's the chicken album. But they're reissued. They're like compilations. But yeah, Out to Hunch. And Out to Hunch is a good one to go to. But new music-wise, I've been listening to three... So not listening to them in depth, but 3 albums I've been listening to this week that I like by bands. Some sort of metalcore bands. Metalcore is a combination of like thrash and hardcore punk.
What's it called?
Metalcore.
Metalcore. Okay, right.
There's lots of cores at the moment.
Yeah.
So metalcore is, if you like thrash, so thrash would be Anthrax, early Metallica.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't mind that.
So the first 3 albums of Metallica.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Thrash. Yeah. And hardcore punk. Hardcore punk. You're looking at like Black Flag, people like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a combination. So it's fast and punky. So there's one band that's been around for a while from Reading called Silosis.
Okay.
Their new album is called Dormant Heart. I think it was out a few weeks ago.
Right.
And that's really good. Just good metal, solos and some shouty vocals.
That's the bit I struggle with really a lot.
Do you know what? If it's done for the sake of it, but if there's melody there, like I'm not just like saying some black metal's really hard.
Yeah.
Extreme metal I can't always get along with. But those guys, another band from the UK called While She Sleeps, from Sheffield. I mean, there's a really good hardcore metal scene in Britain at the moment.
Okay.
Architects, a band from Brighton, another great band.
Haven't you been banging on about them for years?
Yeah, they're really good. Again, if you like that sort of hardcore punk metal. So another band, While She Sleeps, they've got a second album out called Brainwashed.
Okay.
Same sort of thing. And thirdly, Cancer Bats, which is a Canadian hardcore punk band.
Right. Do they mean bats as in the flying mammal?
Yeah, I've got. I should have actually got T-shirts.
Right. Okay.
But it's a bit tight though, so maybe I won't wear it. But again, like hardcore punk. I mean, I've seen them a few times, and they're really energetic. New album is good. The new album is called Searching for Zero. Now, they've had 5 albums, I believe. The first album I've not listened to, but the second and third album, which is Hail Destroyer and Mares, Scrapes and Bones, I think it was the second album, and they had a Beastie Boys cover on there. I can't remember what cover it was.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's really good.
What are they called?
Song, Cancer Bats. Or is it? Not Intergalactic.
There's too many Beastie Boys songs for me to just pick one.
Yeah, it's a Beastie Boys. It's a popular, and this was on the third album. Sabotage. Yeah, great.
Okay, yeah,
really,
that figures.
yeah, and it really good, and that kind of got them a little bit more press.
Right.
Now the following album from that, Dead Set on Living, I kind of didn't really like. It got good reviews, but I felt they went a bit kind of like stadium rock.
Okay.
It seemed to be like they wanted to be Guns N' Roses.
Ooh, okay.
And as much as I like Guns N' Roses, it's just
I don't.
And this album, Searching for Zero, feels like it's kind of gone back to more them. Yeah, it's not nothing revolutionary, just good hardcore punk. You want to jump around to. I've seen them live a few times, as I said, and they're really energetic. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been listening to. What about you?
I have been listening to Sour Soul.
Sour Soul.
Which is, I think it's on Lex Records, and that is a collaboration between Bad Bad Not Good.
I've heard of them.
And Ghostface Killer.
Right, okay.
And there's like a cameo from MF Doom on there. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'd never really listened to Bad Bad Not Good. I think they're Canadian, maybe, again. So Canadian theme this week for some reason.
There you go.
And I think their first stuff came out, like they put it out through Bandcamp, and it was them basically. They're a band, like an actual band, but I think they were doing like covers of hip hop tracks.
Okay, in what sort of style?
Just in that way, yeah. Okay. So, but just like actual live renditions of those tracks, but instrumentals, not rapping.
Okay.
And so once I'd heard this album was coming out, I went and looked them up, and I thought. I had a listen to their stuff on Bandcamp, and there's a couple of bits on YouTube, Spotify as well, and really, really liked it, and was really excited about this album. I'm not overly keen on it.
Right, okay.
I'm going to give it a few more listens because I think there's a lot of potential for it to be really, really good.
It deserves more time.
Yeah, it definitely does. But at the moment, I'm still not sure about it. There's some outstanding tracks on there, like Ray Gun is incredible. I really, really like that. But yeah, I need to give it a bit more time. I've also been listening to Nehruvian Doom, which is a collaboration between Bishop Nehru and MF Doom. And that came out a while ago, but when I first listened to it, I was so excited about it because it was supposedly an MF Doom collaboration, which it is, but there's just not enough Doom. It's more, he's done all the music and the beats and everything, but he's just not, I'm not hearing his voice enough on the album. So my initial reaction to that was disappointment. And so it just got kicked to the curb for a while.
I do like his voice. He's got a good.
Yeah, he's got a great voice. Yeah, and so I revisited that this week, and now that I'm over the disappointment of that, I actually really, really enjoyed it. And on an MF Doom note, there's an announcement this week from via Fact magazine, which I saw on Facebook. And MF Doom and Flying Lotus are going to make an album, which not only was the album announced this week, but it's coming out next month, which is incredible because normally an MF Doom album gets announced and then you wait for it forever. So I'm still waiting for the MF Doom and Ghostface Killer album, which has apparently been recording and was announced years ago, and it's just never surfaced. And I think, we're also waiting for Madvillain 2, which is MF Doom and Madlib's collaboration, and that's just, I don't even know if that's ever going to happen now. But really exciting, the Flying Lotus collaboration. It's going to be called, what did they say? It's going to be called Mask of the North Star, which obviously Mask because of Doom, which is pretty cool, and it's got some pretty decent cameo appearances as well. One of the tracks called Police State has LP, who's my favourite, and Tom York, which will be quite interesting, I think. And Carlos Santana makes an appearance.
I shared a cab with Gondra Surfy once.
Oh, really? Yeah, Gondra Surfy's pretty good, actually. I like him. And there's also an appearance from Quasimodo, which is Madlib's crazy, batshit crazy alter ego, which is amazing. So yeah, really, really, really looking forward to that.
So Doom has got a lot of alter egos as well, hasn't he? So
he's got a
big
few.
Thing for it,
yeah. So I mean, Doom starts like we first hear him in, I think, possibly on a Third Base album. Third Base were the sort of all white rapping duo from Brooklyn in the probably late 80s.
When you say all white duo, you mean two?
Well, yeah, but it's at that point it was really unusual.
Right. Okay.
Not only for them to be white, and I know this sounds horrible, but for them to be really good as well, which they were. And so MF Doom and his brother were in a group called KMD, and they featured on the first Third Base album,
Okay.
and then had their own stuff. And then his brother, I believe his brother was killed in a car crash.
Or Dooms.
Yeah, and he really went off the rails. Apparently, I think there's like stories of him like living on the streets, living rough and everything.
Right,
like really disappeared, and then came back as MF Doom. But he also came back as King Ghidorah and Victor Vaughn.
Victor Vaughn I've heard of.
Yeah, and obviously Mad Villain is kind of an alter ego as well. So yeah, he was very prolific for a period of time, and then it seems to have dried up. I'm hoping that the recent releases and announcement are a return to that sort of prolific nature.
All of his alter egos, are they quite individual and identifiable separately, or is it just kind of
No, they are.
They
are
have their own identity.
Yeah, they definitely do. Yeah. I mean, they're kind of concept albums a lot of the time.
Right, okay.
So yeah, they're quite strange. Yeah, but amazing. Yeah, and worth checking out.
Still in London?
This is the thing. I'm not sure. I think he might be because there was some problem with him regaining access because he's originally English.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's born here. But I think there was some problem getting access, like went on a return to the States. So he'd been kind of exiled in the UK, but I'm not sure. He's a very mysterious guy. I mean, if he does play at a gig, he wears a mask like the guy from Gladiator. So
does he also? There's rumours that sometimes he gets someone else to go on stage as him.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know whether that's true or not. I mean, like as I mentioned last week, I'm not that big a fan of gigs anyway. I've seen him a few times, and I'm pretty sure they were him that I was watching. Yeah. But I'm not overly fussed. Whoever it was doing a bang up job, so I don't mind.
Did we see him at Ali Pali?
Yes, you did see him. Yeah.
Don't remember much, but I do remember.
No, yeah, you did. Yeah.
Company Flow, I think that's when
you left at Company Flow, yeah,
and
missed Portishead.
Missed Portishead, and everyone that I know said it was one of the most amazing gigs they've been to.
Yeah, it was. It was incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really bad. That was really stupid of me.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
I really regret that.
But you were quite drunk.
I was quite drunk.
Not as drunk as my other friend Nick, who got so drunk that he actually got thrown out and had to spend the whole day. It was an all-dayer in the bar that's part of Ali Pali, but isn't inside Ali Pali. Yeah. I shouldn't have tried to not even keep up, but you're in a round system, so you end up having a drink and you buy, and we was in that, and obviously you had. I checked out. I wasn't doing
and
that.
It wasn't kind of a case of like purposely drinking. Of course, but it wasn't like let's drink alone. It wasn't anything like that. It just crept up on us, and he's a big guy.
He's a very big guy. Yeah, but then I think the thing is as well that he doesn't go out doing that much.
Yeah.
So he just got a bit excited and was really caning it. So
I felt sorry for him.
Yeah, no, he was stone cold sober when I left at 11. He got thrown out at like 2 though.
Yeah, it was quite early.
It was really early, yeah. Because I think he saw a little bit of Doom and then he disappeared, and I was like trying to find him and everything. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. So that's our week in music, what we've been doing. So let's get on to album swap.
Yeah.
So what was your recommendation last week?
To you, it was The Soft Moon Deeper.
Yeah.
So what did you think of it?
My recommendation for Lee last week was LP's first solo album, Fantastic Damage. So The Soft Moon's Deeper, I really liked it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It really reminded me of, what's his name, John Mouse. And initially, the first time I listened to it, it really did feel like I was listening to something that came from the Terminator original soundtrack.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a really good thing. Yeah, okay. And also, I don't know much about Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
But I assume that that's what it sounds like in Trent Reznor's head.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have thought of that. I mean, I listened to it myself like once, and I thought it was a bit Depeche Mode-y.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a load of that as well. And I kept getting, who did I Ran? Flock of Seagulls?
I'm not too sure.
I'm sure it's them, and I kept getting that song stuck in my head as a result of listening to this album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I hoped you would. I wasn't sure. I thought it could appeal to you. I mean, I actually listened to it and wasn't that keen on it at first on the one listen, but I would go back. But
no, I thought it's quite interesting. It's quite dark. It's got a real sort of 80s feel to it.
Definitely,
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of the synths that they use. They sound like the synths of that period.
Kind of early post-punk sort of stuff.
I really enjoyed it. It's not a cheery, quick listen though.
No.
It's pretty heavy going. But yeah, I've been listening to it on the tube and yeah, quite enjoying it. Yeah,
excellent.
So how did you get on with Fandam?
I was optimistic, you know. I do like that's not the best start, is it?
No.
I was optimistic, and I just like I sent you a message on my first listen, and I sent Dan a picture that just had someone holding up a card saying I feel ill, and that was kind of my reaction. Do you know? I've listened to it. I'll have to be honest. I didn't listen to it 4 times. I listened to it 3 times. Now, twice I listened to it like on out loud, you know, like not earphones, out loud. Found it really hard to concentrate. There's a lot going on. It's
very dense.
And I think I struggled with that because I didn't dedicate time to it. It's interesting. I really like the kind of like the vocal samples that are taken from I don't know, like TV or film. I'm not sure.
But there's one from 1984, which is the one talking about a boot crushing a face.
Okay, I like that. I found it. The kind of different vocal styles I liked. There's obviously just so much kind of packed in there. So if I'm honest, I struggled with it. I got a little bit irritated by it because I got irritated by it because I don't think I didn't allow it time. Do you know what I mean? I think so. What I did the third time I listened to it on headphones, and so it's like you're kind of consuming it, and I kind of got more out of it from that. I was able to listen to it. I found it kind of comical in places because there's some of there's electronica in there, I guess. Like boing, 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 and I found that kind of funny.
Right,
I probably shouldn't have. But I mean, it wasn't an enjoyable listen.
No.
But I feel like kind of going back to when you were talking about the record that you've listed this week. I feel like it needs time, and I feel I want to give it time, and I don't think it didn't repulse. At first, I didn't enjoy it. And the second, it irritated me. And then I kind of gave myself to it a little bit. And I found that it was a bit. I got more out of it, and that was the only time I've listened. I've only listened to it once from the earphones. And I think if I do it more like that, I'll actually kind of may get more out of it. But interestingly enough, it makes me want to go back. So that's something I think.
I think my initial reaction to that album when I first heard it, and it is one of my favourite albums. Like I adore that album. My initial reaction was Revulsion. I found it. It sounded untidy, it sounded chaotic, and it really sort of swamps you with sound as well. He's got it's a very intricate style as well of rapping.
I didn't like that.
And it's really quite hard to unpick when you first hear it. But having said that, that's my initial reaction, and I put it aside for a long time. Then when I returned to it, it's almost like he's so far ahead of everybody else that it's like having to learn a different language to understand that album. And his production as well. Like now, not so much maybe because I think people are starting to catch on to that style and stuff like that. But at that point, no one was doing anything like him really. And it's almost like he rewrote the rules for hip hop. It's an incredible album, but I can totally understand your reaction to that. It's very until your ear becomes accustomed to it, it's very, very difficult.
It is. I found that,
and I think also, I'm coming to that album from years of listening to lots of different type of hip hop, and you're coming to that completely,
not from that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I think interestingly enough, I can't say I enjoyed it.
No.
But it interests me, and I think I will go back and listen to it, and I'll give it some time. I do. I think you're right. I think even if I go back in like a year or a month or something like that, I think I'll then kind of go into it prepared. So maybe then I can kind of get. I mean, get more out
I think you should like it because it's very similar. There are a lot of similarities I found in tone to the album that you recommended to me. Maybe I think his later albums are very similar to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he's very much into that kind of. I think like Blade Runner-esque kind of thing. Yeah, he's really, really into that kind of tone.
Right.
So yeah, it's probably. I mean, I think the thing that hooked me into that album is there's a track on it called "Tuned Mass Damper,"
right? Okay.
Which I just love that song, and so I just kept listening to that album and then that song, and then from that, other bits of the album kept creeping in.
See that?
Do you know what I mean?
There's a few guests on there, isn't there?
Yeah. There's some. So yeah, and do you know what a tuned mass damper is?
No.
I didn't know. I liked this song for years, and it was only when I was reading a book that mentioned this. It's basically in like really tall buildings to prevent I think it's to prevent too much movement from like wind.
Yeah.
They have these massive, huge blocks of probably like concrete or something suspended high up in the building, so not attached as such, but just kind of hanging.
Okay.
So it acts as like a counterweight and keeps the building in place. Yeah, it's a pretty cool bit of science. Yeah,
that's quite interesting.
Okay, so let's talk about our album swap for this week.
Right. Yes.
Well, you can go first. Go on.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of keep it not the same as in it's quite different, but it's kind of new act. It's an American girl.
Okay.
Indie pop.
Okay.
Called Wachachi.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
WAX.
WAX.
AH.
AT.
CHEE.
Oh my god.
And this album's called Ivy Trip. No, again, the same as
Ivy Trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
The same as before. I've not listened to it. It's out next week.
All right.
I think it could be a second album.
Okay.
The first album was okay. There was one song I absolutely loved on it called Swan Dives, Swan Deep, something like that. But it's very different. Very different. I don't know, but its style is very different to the Soft Moon.
Okay.
So completely not.
All right. And I am going to give you "Resigned to Life" by Minuteman.
Have you listened to Minuteman before?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't
believe
that
so.
then.
No, I don't.
No. I think you should listen to that more.
I think I've listened to Minuteman. I think you recommended Minuteman.
Quite possibly.
And did you recommend it on the back of me liking the band William? You said
maybe.
No.
No, that's definitely not.
Right. Okay.
They're not like. He's not like William.
Right. Okay. No. Okay.
So,
I know the name.
Maybe so yeah, you've got Minuteman's "Resigned to Life."
Is this a classic album? It's a new album?
It's old.
Old. Right.
Not when I say old, it's from like my late teens.
Okay.
I would say so. It's like 90s, part of that Britpop thing. I would have thought.
I know,
but not very famous at all. Like it's not a very well-known album, and it really should be because it's incredible.
I'm sure I've listened to it.
I've probably banged on about it before to you. So
I know. I look forward to listening to that.
I'm being much kinder to you this week because this is much more in your alley.
But it's nice to kind of broaden me up. Do keep away from my alley, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm
sticking some Minuteman in your alley.
I'll tell you another album I really like this year. I think it's worth checking out. Possibly my favourite album of the year so far. Is, do you know Sleater Kinney?
I've heard of them, but never listened to them.
A woman, a trio, I think. They've been around for a long, not late 90s maybe. And I'm not. I mean, I know the name, but can't sound familiar with much of the music. They'd probably, I imagine, get called Riot Girl, post punk
girl,
which is obviously lazy, but. The new album, I can't remember what it's called, but it's very good.
Oh, really?
You should check it out. I think it's one of
they get name checked a lot, Sleater Kinney.
I can tell you the name of the album.
Let's look it up.
It's a very good album. I keep going back to it. Girl, post punk, sort of great girl. Very good. I really really like it.
No Cities to Love, The Woods, Dig Me Out.
No Cities to Love.
No Cities to Love.
Yeah. Very good. I really like it. I'd thoroughly recommend it. Probably my favourite album of the year so far.
Okay, I might give that a listen.
Yeah. It's...
Okay, so that's it from us.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week with our verdicts on our album swap and what else we've been listening to and doing.
I've got a couple of gigs, so I can tell you about them.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And if you want to follow us, you can follow us at Hello Not Dead Yet.
Indeed.
And also you can email us and hellonotdeadyet@gmail.com. Yep. I think that's it. I'll put it on the screen somewhere so you can follow us if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay. Take care. See you later. Bye.